Welcome to Angie's Spoken Word Blog Roundup, take 2, part 2. I'm on take 3 because, this is just going terribly. And Giraffe Princess vetoed the last video, so hopefully this is the one. Thank you, Angie, for organising this again. I only came across it a couple of days ago, but I was really glad to see it there when I did come across it. So I want to read for you a piece that I wrote quite recently about a dance group that I've joined and just some time that I spent with them. It was quite hard to write. It just feels, I suppose it was an experience that went way beyond words, and yet it feels like the right one to read. It's called Playing with Laura. Agony goes, I was born to adore you. As a baby in the blind, I was born to represent you, to carry your head into the sun. The Crying Light, Anthony and the Johnsons. My head is in Anthony and the Johnsons' mush, a beautiful, lyrical, haunting mush, but a mush. My own words are floating around in the mush, difficult to catch and order and cohere. I want to catch them, I want to. Lyrical, haunting mush. The when I was an egg conversation bubbled to the surface again the other day with the boys. Little of it remains with me now, save for the realization that I was born with all my eggs a part of me. Therefore, I was born with what were to become my children nestled within me. I was born with the cells that would grow to become Giraffe Princess, Astro Boy, the Boy Racer, and Laura. Laura was physically with me all my life until she wasn't anymore. And I thought, that is why it hurt so much. It wasn't just a few months and then gone when Laura died. It was all my life and then gone. A physical part of me all my life and then gone. I was born to adore you. Lyrical, haunting mush. The sun shone on us today. We were a gathering of women clad in vintage, creamy, floaty, lacy layers and wellies at the side of the river in the early morning sunshine. Anthony drifted above the call of the birds as we warmed up in unison in the park at the side of the river. Now I cry for daylight, daylight and the sun. Now I cry for daylight, daylight, everyone. We followed our directions. The moves had been rehearsed for weeks. For weeks we had flown like gulls, swooping and diving as day turned to night, as summer turned to autumn in the sports complex on top of the hill. For weeks we had imagined the trees, our shelter and our support as we keened, yearned, dreamed and played in our imagined special places. We had laughed and cried. I had laughed and cried. Those moments as we walked purposefully across the dance floor conjuring scenarios of delight, those were my moments. I was playing with Laura, lifting her high in the air, feeling her weight in my arms. Oh, to find words to capture the poignancy and delight of those moments. And now, on this day, we had our trees to hold, to support us, to hide us as we swayed and pleaded and lost ourselves to the movement, the moment, the company. All of us together, bonded, but lost in our own blissful moment. And a camera rolled. Daylight in my heart. Daylight in the trees, daylight kissing everything she can see. Imagine you are in a nest. This is your space, yours alone. What are you doing in this space? Our dance teacher asked. My arms move. I am cradling my baby, holding her close, cradling her head in my 2 hands and looking at the length of her resting weighty on my forearms. Imagining her there, feeling my heart swell with mother love and pride. I am lifting her gently under her shoulders and swooping her up, flying. My hands widen a little to accommodate my growing child, and simultaneously, unstoppably, the tears begin to roll down my cheeks. I sink down in my nest, curl up on the floor of the sports complex on top of the hill, my empty arms curled in around my chest. So much grief carried in my body, my keening, yearning body, that has found a way to keep on keeping on until a simple, physical action. Lyrical, haunting, mush. Oh, your dream here on the water, warm the sand, the seagulls calling, kissed by kindness. On this day, we had completed filming. Our dance teacher held a few of us back, and we walked further along the path by the river until we came to a spot that looked through a gap in some trees, across the river to a small town. We wandered through the gap as the camera rolled, and following her instructions, we each found ourselves a nest in amongst the trees. The music played. Anthony's voice rose again over the trees and the call of the gulls, and I imagined Laura. Together in amongst the trees we played, Laura and I, now held in my arms, now swooping and smiling, and the camera found us and we played on. You gave me this, your fire becomes a kiss. The filming ended and we gathered ourselves, my arms empty once again. Preparing to head back along the path, I turned to my teacher, who knew exactly what I was doing in my nest, and said, "Do you know where Laura is buried?" She could have chosen anywhere in Ireland to locate her film. I had no say in this. She shook her head. I looked back over my shoulder and pointed through the gap in the trees to the small town on the other side of the river. A small town with an old, old church and a Victorian graveyard and a beautiful baby who doesn't grow. I was born to adore you. I was born to represent you, to carry your head into the sun.
Now I cry for daylight, daylight and the sun. Now I cry for daylight, daylight everywhere, daylight in my heart, daylight in the trees, daylight kisses everything. She can